All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled WWE Wrestlemania 40 Kobe Year, the spiritual meaning on the left and right hand side. Part 1. Okay. So, about a week ago, we had the biggest event, really the biggest two-night event in the industry of the WWE, which of course is WrestleMania. And this year was the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. Okay, it was WrestleMania 40, right? And this particular WrestleMania actually happened right before the total or major eclipse that happened last Monday. Okay, the WrestleMania this year was April 6th and April 7th, and of course that particular eclipse happened on April 8th, that following Monday. Okay, in which, that's why I put this particular thumbnail together the way that I did. Okay, really the main event of WrestleMania 40, which happened on night 2, okay, which was that Sunday, April the 7th. The main event, of course, was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Okay, Roman Reigns has been champ for almost 4 years now. Okay, and Cody Rhodes was actually challenging him for his belt. Okay, so that was the main event that took place that Sunday, right before the eclipse. Okay, so this particular WrestleMania was very esoteric. Okay, that's why I did the thumbnail the way that I did. That's why I have the WrestleMania sign in the middle of the quote-unquote eclipse or the black sun. Okay, that's why I did it that way. Okay, because all of this ties in together. Okay, make no mistake about it, this particular WrestleMania was esoteric. Okay, there was a spiritual meaning on both the left and right hand side. Okay, and this will be part 1, where we'll be dealing more with the left-handed understanding of this year's WrestleMania. Okay, and why they scheduled it right before the eclipse that happened that following Monday. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun with this particular video. Okay, we're gonna get into all the esoteric things that I actually see. Okay, from a spiritual vantage point. This is gonna be me giving my critique from a spiritual vantage point, of course. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's rewind back. Let's go back in time just a little bit. Okay, and we're gonna place focus on the year 2020. Okay, and this is actually gonna give me the opportunity to say to a lot of the doubters, I told you so. This is actually going to be my I told you so moment as well. Okay, and why do I say that? I say that because, if you've been following me in my channel for a while, you know that the first 5 videos I did on my YouTube channel was a 5-part series called Bad Boys for Life, Mamba for Life. Okay, and that 5-part series that I did, I stated it was about the movie Bad Boys for Life was predictive programming to the death of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and everybody that was on that helicopter on that fateful day. Okay, that's really what that movie was about. It was centered around Kobe. Okay, and this year is no different, okay? This is 2024. This is Kobe year, okay? But the year 2020, we were introduced to what? The C19, aka the Corona. Okay, Corona V. I'm still kind of sketchy on saying the whole thing. Okay, but that's what we were introduced to that particular year. Why? Because as I said in that series, Kobe Bryant, one of the roles he played was the role of Apollo. Okay? Apollo is the god of what? Pestilence. And that's very important because I'm going to bring this full circle. I promise you. Remember I said that. Okay, I'm going to bring this thing full circle dealing with him playing the role of Apollo. Okay? So, once Kobe Bryant died, that released what? The Corona. Okay, this whole thing was orchestrated quite well. Okay? But yeah, we're gonna bring a lot of things to remembrance. Okay, I'm gonna be referencing a few things from that video series I did. We're gonna bring it up to date. We're gonna make the correlation, okay? Because this year is really no different from 2020. It's still centered around Kobe Bryant. Okay, and this WrestleMania is the same thing. Okay, there's an element of it that's really centered around Kobe Bryant. Okay, but we'll get to that. Okay, but let's place focus on this word Corona. Okay, actually, before we do that, let's get a little background information. Okay. So this is actually some information about the helicopter crash that happened in 2020 concerning Kobe Bryant. Okay, this is actually the same slide that I used in the series I did, the 5-part series I did about this. Okay, so it says 2020 Calabasas helicopter crash. It says on January 26, 2020, a Sikorsky S-76B helicopter, allow me to repeat that part, a Sikorsky S-76B, 76. I'm placing focus on that because that's very important. I told you we're going to bring this thing full circle. Okay, now that number 76, as we know, represents what? It represents the Capricorn, the goat, Saturn, aka Pan. Okay, and you should know this if you watched the last video series I did dealing with the movie Leave the World Behind. We touched on that. Okay, but anyway, it says a Sikorsky S-76B helicopter crashed in the city of Calabasas, California, around 30 miles, 48 kilometers northwest of downtown Los Angeles, while en route from John Wayne Airport to Caramello Airport. I believe that's how that's pronounced. It says all 9 people on board, allow me to repeat that part, all 9 people on board were killed on impact. So there was a sum total of 9 people that died that day in that particular incident dealing with this helicopter crash. Okay. It says retired professional basketball player Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, or Gigi, and she was 13 years old. That's very important as well. It says, and baseball coach John Altobelli, and 5 other passengers, and the pilot, which was a sum total of 9 people. Okay, so now that we've gotten that, okay, we did a briefing. We went back, okay, to refresh our memory. Now let's move forward. Now, of course, this is a promotional poster of the movie Bad Boys for Life. Okay? And remember, I told you that this particular movie was predictive programming, dealing with Kobe Bryant and the helicopter crash. Now, look at the release date for this particular movie. It was January 17th, 2020. Okay? So that would mean, because remember, the helicopter crash happened the same month on the 26th. That means this movie was released 9 days before the helicopter crash. And how many people died in the helicopter crash? 9 people. That's not a coincidence. Okay, I said all of this in the 5-part series I did. Okay, it's not a coincidence because this movie was predictive programming. It was centered around Kobe Bryant, okay, and his death. Okay, just be patient with me. We're leading up to Wrestlemania, okay, because this Wrestlemania and this year is really 2020 2.0 as far as Kobe Bryant. Okay, is this what this is centered around? Okay. But even when you look at this particular promotional poster, it's a dead giveaway that this is predictive programming. Okay, well, because when you look at this poster, one of the key focal points in this poster is what? Look at it. It's a helicopter right there. They're showing the helicopter scene with what appears to be an explosion right beneath the helicopter. Do you think that's by happenstance? No. It's because this particular movie was predictive programming dealing with Kobe Bryant and that helicopter crash. Okay? But now, let's change routes. Let's get back to this word corona. Okay, let's deal with that. All right? So now we're going to get into a bit of etymology dealing with the word corona. Okay? And it reads corona from 1650s, and it means a crown. It says it means a crown from Latin corona, a crown or a garland. In ancient Rome, especially, a crown or garland bestowed for distinguished military service. So that's what corona represents. It represents, or it means, a crown. Okay? And remember, it says especially in ancient Rome. Now, this leads us to the wrestler Roman Reigns. Why? Because in the same year of this corona, 2020, August of 2020, to be exact, started the beginning of his title reign, his nearly 4-year title reign. Hence, a new king of the WWE was crowned, aka Corona. So in the year of Corona 2020, August of 2020, Roman Reigns basically was crowned. Again, Corona means crown. He was crowned as new king of WWE. Hence was the start of his title reign in August of 2020. All of this the same year of Kobe Bryant's death, the same year of the movie Bad Boys for Life. You can't make this up. Okay? But if that's not enough, because I got people who are still skeptics and say, Kaniba, you reaching. Well, by now you should always know I always got more. Okay? So now what I want to do, I want to go back to this etymology of the word corona. Okay? And I want to point out the second part of the definition there. Okay, because that's very important. Okay, let's go back to the etymology of this word corona real quick, and let's take a look at something here. All right. So now going back to the etymology of the word corona. Okay, we're going to go to the middle here, to the middle of this paragraph. Okay, and it reads, it says, a crown. In fact, let's start right here. It says, in ancient Rome, especially, a crown or garland bestowed for distinguished military service. Allow me to repeat that part. A crown or garland bestowed for distinguished military service. Now, some of you may be thinking, Kanai, but what does this have to do with Roman Reigns? What does it have to do with the WWE, with Wrestlemania 40? Well, just be patient. We're about to get to it. Okay? They said that this word corona means crown, or a crown or garland bestowed for distinguished military service. Well, now, for those of you who are truly WWE fans like myself, this should make perfect sense. Because as you know, before Roman's reign, his title reign, before 2020, the first part of his career, he was a part of the wrestling group known as The Shield. And if you know anything about The Shield, the way they moved very militant. Does that happen to be a checkmate? Okay, because again, look at this the definition of that word corona. It's a crown or a garland bestowed for distinguished military service. And Roman Reigns being a part of the Shield, that was basically that proverbial military service. Okay. All right. So from here, let's move forward and let's get a little more personal information about Mr. Roman Reigns. Okay. Let's take a look here. So here we have some more information about Mr. Roman Reigns. Okay. And it reads, it says he was born May 25th, 1985. Very important. Okay. But we're going to come back to that. Okay, we're going to bring this thing full circle. And I know I keep saying that, but believe me, we're bringing everything full circle. Okay? But it says he was born May 25th, 1985. Okay, so that would make him 38 years old. And it says he's from Pensacola, Florida. Now, that's where I want to put a little bit of focus here. He's from Pensacola, Florida. Okay, now what does this have to do with anything? Him being from Florida. Now, as we already know, and as I touched on in the 5-part series I did, dealing with Bad Boys for Life, Mamba for Life, we know that Florida is what? Florida is the orange state. The orange represents what? The number 33, which represents what? Enlightenment and sacrifice. Okay, this thing is scripted beautifully. Okay, but again, let's get further into it. Okay, let's make the connections here. Okay, so Mr. Roman Reigns, of course, is from Florida, and as we know, the movie Bad Boys for Life was in Miami, Florida, aka the Orange State. Okay, so again, what we're doing right now is we're simply connecting the dots. Okay, now that we're back on this promotional poster, let's go back to this varsity jacket that Mr. Martin Lawrence is wearing in this promotional poster. Okay, I shed light on that in the 5-part series I did those years ago. Okay, it's the same color scheme, of course, as Mr. Kobe Bryant's high school basketball team. Okay, and as we see here, Mr. Kobe Bryant, he wore number 33. Okay, because again, Kobe's life was scripted. Okay, if you can't see that, I really don't know what to tell you, but that's why he's wearing the number 33. Okay, because we know that helicopter crash, and again, this is just my critique, but I believe, and it's just my critique, but I believe he was sacrificed along with the other 8 people, totaling 9 people that were with him in that helicopter on that day. Okay, but yes, Kobe Bryant, he wore that number 33 also because, again, it represents enlightenment. Kobe was what they call on the left-hand side a chosen one. Okay, Kobe was a chosen one. Okay, no different from your Michael Jordans, your LeBron Jameses, etc. In fact, I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's LeBron James that has chosen one tattooed across his back, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but when you see players wearing these esoteric numbers like 33 or 23 or things of that nature, they're chosen ones. Okay, there's a reason why they wear these esoteric numbers. Okay, and it's no different for Kobe Bryant. You see here, he's wearing the number 33. Okay, now, which brings us to Mr. Roman Reigns. Now, as we can clearly see here, this is actually him, and this is the Catholic high school that he actually attended and played for I believe 3 years. Okay, and as you can see here, he of course is wearing the number 33. Okay, and not to mention, this is a Catholic football team. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kobe Bryant was Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe before the helicopter crash, he left, what is it called? A Catholic, the Mass or whatever it's called. I believe he was leaving there to attend his daughter Gigi's basketball game. I believe that's where he was leaving from. Don't quote me on it because it's been a while, but I believe that's how it went down. Okay, but I say all that to say this, not to get too far off topic, but yes, Mr. Roman Reigns, as we see here, is wearing the number 33. Okay, because his life is scripted, and this is just my critique. But Mr. Roman Reigns, like Kobe Bryant and the rest of those guys, is a chosen one. Okay, that's why they allowed him to hold the belt and have that long extended title reign for almost 4 years. This was already in the making. It was already in Roman Reigns' script. Okay? Now, what I want to draw your attention to is the color scheme to these teams that we're going to place focus on that he played for. You're going to notice that the color scheme is green, and this very particular type of green. Okay, because that's important. Okay, but let's move forward. Okay, I just want to point that out. It's this particular green. Okay, but we're gonna bring it full circle here. But let's move forward. Let's rewind back a few years and let's look at him still playing football here. Let's take a look at this. So this is Roman Reigns along with his cousins, the Uso twins, and the young man at the bottom left corner, I believe he became a wrestler too. Don't quote me on it. I don't really know who he is. But look again. Look at the numbers that they're wearing. Okay. Now this is actually, I believe, like an inner city team in Pensacola, Florida, and they were called the Eagles. That was the name of the team. And again, look at the numbers. These are esoteric numbers that they're wearing, all of them. Okay, but we're going to place focus on Mr. Roman Reigns in the middle. He's wearing the number 18. We know the number 18 is an allusion to 666. Okay, that's why the young man at the bottom left corner is wearing the number 60. Okay, in the gematria, you just drop the 0. It has no value. That's basically 6. Okay, now if you look at the Uso twins, okay, it's really, really hard to tell them apart, especially when they were younger. They looked even more alike when they were younger. Okay, they were truly identical. I really can't tell them apart. But if I were a betting man, the one wearing the number 33, I would say it's probably Jey Uso. And to the left wearing the number 52, I would say it's probably Jimmy. Okay, now we know that number 52, 5 plus 2, of course, is 7. Okay, which is key. That's very important too. The number 7 plays an important role because we know that it was on April 7th. That was the main event to WrestleMania. Okay, it was a two-night event, April 6th and 7th. Okay, but then again, when you look to the right, Mr. Jey Uso, I believe it's Jey. Of course, he's wearing the number 33. Why? Because he's a chosen one. That's why I say I believe that's Jey. That's why Jey has broke off by himself and is doing really very amazing in the WWE right now, because it was already in the script for him to do so too. Okay, but I could be wrong. It could be Jimmy, but I truly believe that that's Jey. Okay, wearing the number 33. Okay, but now what I want to point out here, I want to look at the very tall gentleman in the very back with the white hat on. Okay, that's actually Roman Reigns' deceased brother. Okay, and I want to point something out because I believe that there's a reason why they had him stand behind the Uso twin that's wearing the number 33. You should already know where I'm going with this. He could have stood on the other side, but they had him stand behind the Uso twin wearing the number 33. And we know the number 33 represents sacrifice. Okay, now am I saying that that's really the case? No, this is just my critique, but I'm just putting the pieces to the puzzle together. Okay, but now that we've gotten that piece of information, we're still sticking with Roman Reigns' deceased brother. Okay, now let's look at this next slide here. Okay, again, this looks like the same inner city team, the Eagles, but they are a lot younger here. Okay, and of course out front is Mr. Roman Reigns, and we clearly see what number he's wearing, and that's key. Okay, Roman Reigns is wearing the number 47. 47. Okay, that's very important. Now, why is that? And the last picture, the last slide that we just looked at, okay, I place focus on Roman Reigns' deceased brother, the very tall gentleman in the back with the white hat, and how I believe that there's a reason they had him stand directly behind the Uso twin that was wearing the number 33. Now, how do we tie all this in together? Especially with this particular photo in question with Roman Reigns wearing the number 47. And they're making sure that you could see that jersey number. In this photo, they really don't care about the other three's number. It's really Roman Reigns and his number, the number 47 right here. Okay. Well, let's make it all make sense. Let's get a little bit more information on the deceased brother of Mr. Roman Reigns. Okay? So here's a photo of the deceased brother of Roman Reigns. And of course I got this photo off of Google Images, right? So when I basically typed in his name on Google Images, this is one of the main images that actually popped up. And my spidey senses start going off a little bit because of course this particular shirt or jersey, of course, it has Brooklyn on it and the number 23, another esoteric number, but of course the color scheme is black, white, and red, which represents what? The black mass or sacrifice. Okay. And what's also very interesting, okay, is now we know that the color scheme or the main color for the WWE brand Raw, Monday Night Raw, of course, is red. It's the red brand. Okay. Now, why am I saying this? Okay. Let's rewind just a little bit back to the Raw before WrestleMania. The Raw before WrestleMania took place where? Yeah, it took place in Brooklyn. Go ahead, you can fact check me on that, but I believe it was in Brooklyn. The Raw before WrestleMania, okay? And it did big numbers, okay? Because, of course, Roman Reigns and The Rock were there, okay? And we know Roman Reigns, he signed with the Blue brand, SmackDown, but they were there for that Monday Night Raw, okay? But, it's, I may be reading a little bit too much into this photo, but it just struck me as curious. Okay? Because that particular Raw before WrestleMania took place in Brooklyn. Okay? So now let's move forward and let's get a bit of information about the death of the brother of Roman Reigns. Okay, now his ring name, I believe, was Rosie. Okay, and I think his government name, I want to say, was Matthew, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but anyway, getting to the point. Okay, it reads. Okay, the article reads. It says, in January 2014, Anawai was hospitalized due to congestive heart failure, with which he had been diagnosed years earlier, or so they say, right? It says an arterial fibrillation, I believe is how it's pronounced. It says Anawai's CHF was related to weight gain as he struggled with a chronic knee injury that also caused hip issues. Now here goes the point. Here we go. He died on April 17th, 2017. Allow me to repeat that part. He died on April 17th, 2017. Now, if you followed the video series I did on the movie Leave the World Behind, we touched on that number 17. That's a very esoteric number. The number 17 represents death and rebirth. Yes, it does. It represents death and rebirth, that number 17. And what's also very important about that year 2017 is the last time we had the same type of eclipse that just happened this year on April 8th. The last time that happened was in 2017. Okay, I believe it was August of 2017, if my memory serves me correctly. Okay, so it says 10 days after his 47th birthday. Allow me to repeat that part, please. 10 days after his 47th birthday. Pause. Let me ask you a question now. We just looked a couple of slides back. We looked at Roman Reigns when he was younger, a lot younger, along with his cousins. They were on a football team. Roman Reigns was, of course, out front, wearing what number? He was wearing the number 47. Was he not? His brother died at the age of 47. The same brother that I told you, there was a reason why in the slide before that, they had him stand behind the Uso brother that was wearing the number 33. See that? I told you. I like to bring things full circle. I like to kind of leave a little bit of suspense. But you got to understand, I don't just ramble and just throw stuff together. No. I bring things full circle. All you got to do is just be patient with me. Okay? But yes, I told you there's a reason why all of them were wearing those very specific numbers on their jerseys. They mean something, as we clearly see right here. The man died at 47 years old, and then that previous slide that we looked at, Roman Reigns, when he was a little boy playing football, he for that football team, he wore the number 47. And the cameraman made sure they got that shot with him with that 47 on his jersey showing clearly. And the other cousins, you couldn't see their jersey number because it didn't matter. All that mattered was that number 47 that Roman Reigns was wearing. Okay?